Sri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om Sri Namo Om Namo Surya Narayanaya Om Namo Narayanaya. So today we are going to go with the application part of the Aruna Prashna mantras, because there is without practical utility, mantras are not inexperienced to us. So today we'll try to continue with with which we are there. So we are told that Janudagnim, from there we are doing, and after having dug, so yeah, here Tasmat Sadesha Hrude Pratishya Kama Manasi Kamam Avartata. But anyway, I just try to come up to that point and down. Yeah. Gamka Paina. More. No, Janudagrim Uttaravedim Katva Apam Purayitva Gulpadagram Pushkara Parnaihi Pushkara Dandaihi Pushkara Ischa Saggum Stirya Tasmin Vihayase Agnim Praniya Upasamadhaya then Brahmavadino Vadanti. So from there we have got to go through, and there is a question. See, when once the Veda is kept ready, when once the Veda is kept ready, how is that done? That is dug into a Janudagni, knee-deep digging. Then up to the ankle deep, there will be water-cooked Gulpadagnam. And then you have to cover that Yagnavedi after digging with the lotus leaves, lotus stalks, and lotuses. Then all of them have got to be spread. Then Agni has to be brought from generated point and place it. Praniya Upasamadhaya. Then over the space, fire should be placed, and then perform salutations and such honor to Lord Surya Bhagavan, because Surya and Agni remain the same. Afterwards, now the Brahmavadins get into the discussion there, because Aranyaka means a philosophical text. So we have Upanishads and Upanishads and Aranyakas, meaning Upanishads are otherwise Aranyakas and Upanishads. So however it is, both are the thinking part of the Veda mantras, otherwise called as Vyakhyaakaras. In our next month annual day celebrations, we are having a symposium on the Rishi, their contributions, and also the Vyakhyaakaras, how they contribute for the enhancement and human welfare. That's very important. That's why Brahmavadinaha and Brahmavetta, Brahmachari, Brahmagna, and these are all some of the variety of people who in respect of their pursuits. And Brahmavidaha. See, Brahmavidaha, they know about Brahma, Veda, about mantras. Brahmagnaha, who has got a knowledge of the Janati. Brahma Janati iti Brahmagnaha. And Brahmavitu, Brahmagnaha, Brahmachari. A person who always devotes his good time towards the practice of understanding the Paramatma, Brahmachari. And here we have the interference of Brahmavadins. That is, those people who are trying to question and try to get some answer therefrom, and they put a question, because there should be opposition or inquiry committee must be there. Because unless inquiry is done, you can't arrive at the truth. That's what, even in our practical experience, we have the idea. Therefore, now a question was put, Kasmat Pranite. pranite, agnihi chiyate ayam. What is this Aruna Ketuka Agni, that Surya Bhagavan, Aruna? So why at all you are going to bring him into the Vedi? Because we have already come across the word Agnim Praniya Upasamadhaya. See, Agni Pranayana is to lead or deposit Agni in the Vedi. Pranayana is the Sanskrit word, or Pariniti or Parinaya, all these things. That is to bring together, is called Parinaya. So in our later on, all people know the Parinaya Mahotsava Ahvana Patrika, the marriage celebrations, because Parinaya means man to woman, woman to man. Both lead their together. One is a guide to the other is a guide to the other, so that it becomes a samsara. That's why it is called a pranana, parine. So praniya upasamadhaya. Now these two questions: why should you bring Agni, and why should you worship him? Kasmat pranite ayam Agni, kasmat ayam chiyate cha. And now the answer is Sa pranite ayam apsu apsakhya chiyate. So this Agni is being deposited in the Vedi, and then he is being worshipped. Why? Again, why comes out? The why question mark is always good for us, because we try to unearth the truth and get to know about it. Because asau bhavanepi anahito agnihor agnireta. See, asau, the Surya Bhagavan, we have got, he will be transgressing almost all the regions around, and all worlds. So this fire around there would be, and so that kind of fire, the Homa writes. So in order to protect Agni, now next is Abhishtakaha. They will be going to border the Vedi with the Abhishtakas, or the bricks. Even the bricks have also got different names. When you get into the Srautakosha or the Sutra literature, for more so in the Srauta Sutra and Brahmanas and all that, then you will be getting more and more things. So in order to protect Agni, there is the arrangement of placing the waters in the altar. Then the spiritual masters, they started explaining why at all that is done. So we observe the title Aruna Prashna for this particular chapter of Taittiriya Aranyaka is reasoned out at this point, saying that doubts are raised and answers are provided. The weight is on the world of inquiry. Therefore, that inquiry is done. Again, they will ask you, how do you perform the Aruna Ketu Agni? We want to know the procedure, the mode, how you can perform. In the next mantra, it is said, Agnihotre Darsa Purnamasayo Pasubandhe Chaturmasyeshu Atho Ahu Sarveshu Yajnakratushviti. This is what earlier it is. So, the procedure of Aruna Ketuka is common in the rites like the Darsa Purnamasa, Agnihotra, Pasubandha. Well, these are all the sacrifices which are introduced in Yajurveda Samhitas, because actually the Yajurveda begins with the Darsha Purnamasa Yajna. That is, no, inka paikandi, kindiki helpondi. So, Darsha Purnamasa, so in the Darsha Purnamasa, we have got a ceremony respecting the Darsha Masa, Amavasya, Purnamasa, Purnima. Yeah, I got that. It's correct. So, and also Agnihotre Darsha Purnamasayo will come to that. Now, Atha Ahu Sarveshu Yajnakratushvisi. So Pasubandha, Agnihotra, Pasubandha is Soma sacrifice. And Chaturmasya, well, these are all the modes of performance of Yajna. already by our rishis, and they are streamlined. So if you need not have a new set of formulas to perform the Agni Ketuka Agni, you can adopt. And moreover, that procedure is valid in all their Sarveshu Yagna Kratu Shviti. Aruna Ketu Agni could be pursued in all, with all those mantras. Therefore, Adha is the word there. Adha means not only here, Sarveshu Yajna Kratushu, in all sacrifices. So here, the rites are the sacrifices mentioned in the Veda, and the same formulas can be used here. And also, we get the what when it is open for discussion, some rishis come forward to give their opinion, because actually it is put as a subject matter in the Gnana Sabha, where all sages will gather and Brahmadeva himself will be the chairman of the sessions. Therefore, when such thing has been opened up, the discussion is open, and then we have got the expression Adho ahu sarveshu yajna kratushviti etadhasmahava ahushandilaha kamagnim chinit. Chadavanడి sir, మీరు please read that. Atho ahu అక్కడి నుంచి చదవండి.
अथो आहुः सर्वेषु यज्ञक्रतुष्विति एतद्दस्मवा आहुः षण्डिलाः अमग्नं चिनुते सत्रियमग्नं चिन्वानः संवत्सरं प्रत्यक्षेण अमग्नं चिनुते सावित्रमग्निं चिन्वानः आमुमादित्यं प्रत्यक्षेण अमग्नं चिनुते
నాచికేతమగ్నిం చిన్వానః
नाचिकेतमग्निं चिन्वानः प्राणात् प्रत्यक्षेण अमग्नं चिनुते.
Now the question come is there. Come is which, what? Because we should know, we are introduced to the idea that there are several Agnis. Innumerable Agnis are there. And among such Agnis, what kind of selection you are going to make with is a question. So in that question, we are getting answers from Rishis. At first, we have got the Sandilya Maharshi, who is again a great sage, Veda Rishi, and he is able to put forth idea. He said, Ahus Sandila, Sandila Maharshi said, Yetadasmava, the indeed spoken by a sage, and said that we worship Agni related to Aruna Ketuka Agni. Owing to that, one should reap benefits whole year correspondingly. Here, any Agni Puja, any Homa, anything that you do in our house must be valid for 1 year. Punya Vachanam, for example, people do it once in a year. Or in between, in case some kind of other functions creep in, like Vivaha or Upanayana or some Satyanarayana Puja or some such kind of vratas, what to be performed in the house, they do Punya Vachanam. Similarly, even Homa, because Homa is an intravenous injection, so whatever you do offer in the Agni live, it will directly go to the gods, respective gods. Therefore, Homa is better. In fact, in Bhagavad Gita, Krishna is trying to grade Tapassu, Dhyana, Aradhana, Puja, Pradakshina. Well, these are all some Daivi karmas. One has to do it conveniently, choosing whatever is possible. But he always encourages the Nitya karmas should not be put full stop. Even sannyasis cannot give up the Nitya karmas. They will do Sandhya Vandanam. They will do river bath. They will do Arghyam. So this is the arrangement given by our Rishis. that the human birth, a rare occurrence, is being absolutely used appropriately. So the Sandilya said this Agni would be rewarding when he is worshipped, and whenever he is placing the oblations, then you have to have a kind of boundary, and that boundary also you do it. And when once they do it, say samvatsaram pratyakshena is to mark, because this particular line keeps on repeating, saying that the validity is for 1 year expiry date, including, see, even our Yajnopavitam is also 1 year duration. Every Sravana Masa, we are supposed to change our Yajnopavitam, go to a new one, and discard the old one after doing little Gayatri Japam. So this is the our Vedic tradition and arrangement. Similarly, Agnihotra, Agni, or anything, I mean, all these things have got to be attended to. Therefore, the experience and rewards the people obtain owing to the worship of Agni. So, what is the how do you see that the devatas are pleased? That is in the form of rain. Supposing at the end of the yajna, there will be rain. There will be presence of clouds hovering over. In fact, we have so many examples, experiences quoted by periodically by Ritviks here and there. And one example I remember now is in Kerala, probably in 1970s, about 4 or 5 or so, an American, a France professor, Stahl, he brought American dollars. And he got that Agni Chayana sacrifice performed mostly 21 days in Kerala, one village. And there, my guide also, Dr. Kashikar, went as one of the Rutviks and all that. And it is registered that soon after the Aruna Ketuga Agni Homa is over, when the Yajna is Yajna Vedi is built in the form of a falcon. At the end of the Purnahuti and all that, there was a falcon hovering over the Yajna Vedi and Yajnashala, an indication that the Yajna has been successfully done and all gods are pleased. Sarva devataha trupta bhaveyuhu, sarva ahuti trupta, sarva ahuti huta bhaveyuhu. That's why it is said, Satriya Magnim Chinvana Pasvandhena. So when you take up the Satriya Magni, Agni, going by the name Satram, in fact, the duration of Satra is always indefinite, mostly. For example, when Rama Pattabhisheka and all that jubilee was over, the mothers of Rama, they went away with Rishyasringa, as we see in Valmiki Ramayana. Then the work is done, Rama back, he is now corrodated, and he will look after everything. So the son-in-law of the family of Dasaratha, he is a great sage, Rishyasringa Mahamani. Yeah. So he took the mothers of Rama and so many other people to his hermitage in order to perform Satra. So we don't have any much information about those of those people or some of the characters, because the Ramayana ends with Rama's story, but Uttar Ramayana is later on written, but that is a different story. But that's why people always do not touch Uttar Ramayana for Parayanam purpose, but rather they end with Ram Pattabhisheka, and that is Jubilee, highest Jubilee. So Satra is a word which will normally take place for 12 years. And there is also a prescription of the duration of the respective sacrifices. and probably the Satram is the longest drawn one. Even Arudaketuka Agni Sayana also will be for 21 days. And like that. So looking at all that, we have in olden days, the marriage was taking place for 16 days. So this is actually in those days, people used to have a lot of celebration and jubilee for a longer time, and people used to stay on and have so much of leisure also. No urgencies whatsoever. Wherever they were able to be comfortable. And so first Agni that is being picked up, which Kamagni means it is the Savitra Agni or Satriyam Agnim Chinvanaha. Satriyam Agni, that is Agni of the Satram variety, which is long drawn one. So Satriyam Agnim Chinvanaha Pratyakshena. So there will be the Pratyaksha Anubhavas when such Agna is being done. Now, another question, see, we are not stopping with it, as Rama Emanuru read out. Again, the question continues, Kamagnim Chinute, then Savitriyam Agnim Chinvanaha, Amamadityam Pratyakshena. So, we are next taking up the Aditya, or the Savitra. Savitru means Prasavita, Savita, Prasavita and Chaptaru, mean he is the impeller. If at all you get the urge that you should do it, that urge itself is Savitru Devata Prerana. Unless there is Devata Prerana, nothing is possible in action for by all people in the world. So Devar ಹೇಳಿದಾರಪ್ಪ, the Devata ದೇವರ ನಿರ್ಣಯ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದೀರಿ. ಸೊ ಈ ವಿವಾಹ ಪತ್ರಿಕಾ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡುವಾಗ ನೋಡ್ತೀರಾ, you have always the first prayer done to Paramatma of their own Ishta Devata, then they will start the text of the invitation. So Kalyana Adhyayana, some such slokas are being printed or in the invitation, and the invitations had special specifications. The modern marriage invitations you observe different. In fact, if you go to that printing, invitation printing place in Chickpet or so in Bangalore, he will show so many formats of the marriage invitations. And it is hard, but we had a set marriage invitation set that is yellow, kunkuma, pasubu. ఈ రెండు కలిసినటువంటి పేపర్స్ ఉంటాయి. ఆ పేపర్లో ప్రింట్ చేసేవాడు. ఒక సైడ్ ఇంగ్లీషు, ఇంకో సైడ్ తెలుగు ఆర్ కన్నడ ఆర్ వాట్ ఎవర్ లాంగ్వేజ్ దట్ ఈస్. సో దట్ ఈస్ ది పద్ధతి. అండ్ దేర్ ఫోర్ హియర్ యు సీ the duration is important. Savitriya Madhyam Chinvanaha. And what does it happen? Surya Bhagavan is Savitra Agni. He will be granting whatever subsequent benefits are to be done. Therefore, the Agnihotra is done basically related to Surya Bhagavan. That's why the Agnihotra, people do it twice a day, especially the Arya Samaj people and many people otherwise. Even here, we have so many families in India also who just do Agnihotra just at the rising of the sun, and just at the setting of the sun. They just light the Agni and make some offerings, 21 or 11 or 4 only. Prajapataye Swaha, like that they make a ahuti and complete it. So this is a unique experience that Agnihotra to observe is a very, very beneficial one to everybody in the family, to everybody connected to them, and the nation itself. Therefore, Agnihotra is a very important one. And Agni worship, that is, you cannot, worshipping Agni is different from other cooking Agni or cars burning Agni and all that. I have already pointed out to you. After doing that kind of Savitri Agni, again the question continues here. Kamagnim Chinute, Nachiketamagnim Chinvanaha. So Nachiketamagnim Chinvanaha. pranan pratyakshena. So this is what he has told. Now, in this section, the Agni that is being worshipped is one revering the Nachiketa Agni. You know, in Kathopanishad, we have the incidents or episode how Nachiketa, Kumara's boy, a small boy, see his father was a distributor after completing one yajna. He was giving dakshina to all people, X, Y, Z, and all those people who attended the sacrifice. He went on giving. This is a small boy, poor Nachiketa, a small boy. Suddenly he went to his father. Father was in a different mood, very busy in distributing the dakshina and other things. He went and asked, అప్ప అప్ప నన్ను ఎవరికి చేస్తావు నువ్వు నన్ను ఎవరు దానం చేస్తావు అని అడుగుతాడు. Without any thought, he said, నేను యమునికి ఇచ్చేస్తున్నాను. యమాయ దదామి. I'm going to give it to Yamara. So actually Yama is not there. So accordingly, the boy was asked to go to Yamaloka. And actually he waited at the door of Yama. In 3 days, Yama was not there, door locked, outboard. Interview hours, outboard. But having gone that far, that boy did not want to return. So, interloka travelers. So, he was just sitting at the door of the Yama, without water, without food, without sleep, constantly looking for Yama to come back to his place. So, after 3 days or so, Yama comes back. And looking at the boy, instead of he told all things to that, but instead of taking away the life of that small boy, and he was so much pleased for the sincerity and devotion of the Nachiketa, he said, you asked 3 boons, and I will grant you. So he just asked 2 boons were approved. But when the question comes about 3rd boon, he said, I want Divya Agni. I have to take that, what Agni, Divya Agni, which is there in heaven. I want to take it downwards, down to the earth, and benefit all people in all respects. So that was the kind of intention and desire and attitude which Nachiketa entertained. So then Yama tried to lure him by saying that, well, without that, I don't ask that. You go with, you can ask me anything other than that. So all that I am going to grant you. But Nachiketa said, no, I want only Divya Agni. You go and make prayer and get permission that Divya Agni, the heavenly Agni, be taken down the earth. Oh, ultimately, Yama understood that this boy is stubborn. He cannot be sent empty-handed. So ultimately, he worked hard. He got approval. Then he handed over the Divya Agni. He brought it down, and the Divya Agni is a prana provider. That's why, what is the use of performing the Nachiketa Agni Aradhana or Upadhana or Chinvana is pranan pratyakshena. So he would be strengthening the prana inside our body, the health inside our body, the systems inside our body, so that the body remains sound, that it will be able to withstand more and more strain and further. That's why with pranan pratyakshena. So one has to strengthen the prana. As you know, in Agrihotra, we have got mantras like uror balam achnoho chakshuho karnayoho srotram karnayoho and naso pranaha. Then he come like that. He went on asking that the panchendriyas must be really rewarding because of the respective required forces staying in that, protecting the panchendriyas. Adinda ili prana pratyakshena said that the pranavayu is important. One of the first vital air is pranavayu. So the pranavayu, pranavayu. There are 5 vital airs always in action in our body. That is what we call pranamaya. Prana, prano, pana, vyana, udana, samana, saprana. What is the color of them? Sveta, varna. And to what they belong? Sankhya, Yanasa, Gotra, What is the chandas? Gayatri chandaha. So this is how we always say in Gayatri Anusthana, in Sandhya Vandana more so, and see that this Nachiketa Agni is being performed, a Sandhya is being performed in order to cover, protect prana. తర్వాత చదవండి కమగ్నిం చినుతే
కమగ్నిం చినుతే కమగ్నిం చినుతే
సావిత్ర్యమగ్నిం చాతుర్హోత్రియమగ్నిం చిన్వానః
చాతుర్హోత్రియమగ్నిం చిన్వానః చాతుర్హోత్రియమగ్నిం చిన్వానః
బ్రహ్మ ప్రత్యక్షేణ
బ్రహ్మ ప్రత్యక్షేణ బ్రహ్మ ప్రత్యక్షేణ
కమగ్నిం చినుతే
కమగ్నిం చినుతే కమగ్నిం చినుతే
వైశ్వసృజమగ్నిం చిన్వానః
వైశ్వసృజమగ్నిం చిన్వానః వైశ్వసృజమగ్నిం చిన్వానః
శరీరం ప్రత్యక్షేణ
శరీరం ప్రత్యక్షేణ శరీరం ప్రత్యక్షేణ
కమగ్నిం చినుతే
కమగ్నిం చినుతే కమగ్నిం చినుతే
భానువాక్యం ఉపానువాక్యం ఆశుమగ్నిం చిన్వానః
ఉపానువాక్యం ఆశుమగ్నిం చిన్వానః ఉపానువాక్యం ఆశుమగ్నిం చిన్వానః
ఇమాన్ లోకాన్ ప్రత్యక్షేణ
ఇమాన్ లోకాన్ ప్రత్యక్షేణ ఇమాన్ లోకాన్ ప్రత్యక్షేణ.
సో లుక్ హియర్ నార్మల్లీ when people are doing Aruna Prashna Parayanam, they look at the volume size of the whole sura. Then they try to avoid completely. But we actually, the real rind of the entire Aruna Prashna lies here. Because Agni is general. But what about the particular? What kind of Agni you must do it and what kind of benefit you should derive? Is it not? That is the quest. Okay, department ఉండొచ్చు కానీ ఆ డిపార్ట్మెంట్లో which staff member you want. For example, in హలో జాయిన్ అవునా జాయిన్ అవ్వక అరుణ ప్రశ్న జాయిన్ అవ్వు కార్లోనే ఫినిష్డ్ జాయిన్ అవ్వు. So here we observe that Agnis are several, and which is required that Rishis must help us to choose what Agni we should worship. ఏ అగ్నిని పూజిస్తే ఎటువంటి ఫలం వస్తుంది, మనకి ఎటువంటి కోరిక తీరాలి అన్నప్పుడు ఆ కోరికకు అనుగుణంగా ఇవ్వగలిగినటువంటి అగ్నిని మనం చూసుకోవాలి. ఫర్ ఎగ్జాంపుల్ వెన్ యూ సే నాచికేత అగ్నిం చిన్వానః అన్నప్పుడు మన ప్రాణాలు ముఖ్యమైంది. శరీరం లోపల ప్రాణం వెళ్ళిపోతే అన్నీ వెళ్ళిపోయినట్టే. ఇన్ఫ్యాక్ట్ in one of the Upanishad there is a story or parable saying that suddenly Panchavayus inside our body, they wanted to go on casual leave. So they one by one, each one talked to each other, and then they say all of them submitted. He said, "Aya, ఈ అపాన వ్యాన ఉదాన సమాన ఆల్ ప్రాణాలు 4 ప్రాణాలు వెకేషన్ అని చెప్పేసి వెళ్ళిపోయాయి. అండ్ ప్రాణము పర్మిట్ చేసింది. సో 4 2 అనుకోండి, 8 నెలలు వెళ్ళిపోయారు, 8 వారాలు వెళ్ళిపోయారు. బట్ మళ్ళీ రిటర్న్ అయ్యారు వాళ్ళు. దే కేమ్ బ్యాక్ టు రెజ్యూమ్ దర్ పొజిషన్స్. When they returned, the body was there, pranam was there, and they were able to occupy their respective and continue their jobs. But when all these people have completed their term, then Pranam asked, "Shall I also go away on vacation?" నేను కూడా వెకేషన్ తీసుకోనా అని అందరి ప్రాణాలను అడుగుతుంది. అందరూ చేతులు నమస్కారం పెట్టి కాళ్ళు నమస్కారం పెట్టి, అయ్యయ్యా నువ్వు వెళ్ళిపోతే మేము వెళ్ళిపోతాము ఆటోమేటిక్గా, నువ్వు ఉన్నావు కాబట్టి మళ్ళీ మేము వెనక్కి వచ్చి బాడీలో ఉంటున్నాము. కాబట్టి యు ఆర్ వెరీ గ్రేట్, యు ఆర్ వెరీ ఇంపార్టెంట్ అని చెప్పి దట్ ప్రాణవాయువు హ్యాస్ బీన్ మేడ్ యాజ్ ది పరమాత్మ. ప్రాణం బ్రహ్మ, ప్రాణం బ్రహ్మ. సి he said that ప్రాణం బ్రహ్మ ప్రాణేన ప్రాణేన జీవాని జీవంతి అని తైత్రీయ ఉపనిషత్ టాక్స్ అబౌట్ ది పంచప్రాణాస్. అమాంగ్ ఆల్ ప్రాణాస్ ది ప్రాణవాయు ఆర్ ది లైఫ్ as such ఈజ్ ఇంపార్టెంట్. ఆ లైఫ్ ఫోర్స్ ప్రొటెక్ట్ చేసేటటువంటి బేస్ ఏది అంటే అగ్ని. మీ హార్ట్ లంగ్ పర్ఫెక్ట్గా ఉండి, సెంట్రల్ నర్వస్ సిస్టమ్ పర్ఫెక్ట్గా ఉండి, ఆర్ ది సర్క్యులేటరీ ట్రాక్స్ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ బాగుంటే దెన్ ది బాడీ ఈజ్ హెల్దీ. కాబట్టి లోపల ఎన్ని ప్రాణాలు ఉన్నాయో మనకు తెలియదు. కయంత ఈమె అంతరాత్మని ప్రాణ. హౌ మెనీ ప్రాణాస్ ఆర్ దేర్ ఇన్ అవర్ బాడీ? Nobody knows the account of it. But everybody realizes that there are number of pranas. Therefore, we have that pranam pratyakshena. Next one we have got is Chaturhotriyam Agnim Chinvana. See, Chaturhotri Agni, that is getting the direct blessings of the real Brahman, Veda Purusha. See, Chaturhotra Agni is Brahmopasana. In fact, all sannyasis or yatis will have to perform Chaturmasya Agni. Chaturmasya. That is 4 months they should be away from their respective pithas and stay in some pitha, same, a branch away. Then they have to indulge in Swadhyaya and Pravachana. So they should give lectures, discourses, and educate people, inspire people, and all that. Plus, they for themselves, they should do Anusthana. Because Anusthana ಮಾಡದೇ ಇದ್ರೆ ಯಾವ ಕೆಲಸನೂ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಆಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ. Anusthana is the base for all. Even however difficult is the problem, and that problem will be squared up when you make the prayer to gods. Therefore, it is said here, Chaturhotriyam Agnim Chinvana, I am going to worship the Chaturhotra Agni. Then, which means that the Yajamana, the sacrificer, gets himself identified with the Chaturhotriya Agni. Then what would be the understanding and result? Then he would be identifying himself with the highest God, the Para Brahman himself. So Brahma Pratyakshena. So unless one becomes a Brahma, he will not be able to understand what Brahma is like. Because experience is always a boon for people. And at the same time, experience or anubhava is very expensive and also individualized. So therefore, Brahmavada and Brahma Jnana and Brahmatvam is to be understood when you perform the Savitri Agni, when you use Chaturhotri Agni. That's why the all sannyasis maybe would go about 4 months and they are going to conclude also the Chaturmasa Diksha, beginning in Ashadha Masa and ending in 4 months. So they will conclude that. So like that, here you have got the Brahma Pratyakshena means you have to understand and get the blessings of Brahmadeva, who is the promulgator of the Brahminism or Vedic world or knowledge as such, and so that the whole thing will go in a very beautiful manner. So Brahma Pratyakshena, and that is really wanted. Brahma Pratyakshena is really wanted. And next Agni again, because we are being given the impression that Agni is not one only. What Agni from matchbox you produce is not serene. But there are very powerful religiously pious Agnis, and that is being marked out here. The next answer was Sandilya's Vaisvasrujam Agnim Chinvana. I am worshipping the Vaisvasruja Agni. And what do you get from Vaisvasruja Agni? That's what Vaiswadevam they call it. You know, every Gruhastha is supposed to perform Vaiswadevam and then only take his lunch. ఆ వైశ్వదేవం లోపల 12 గంటలకు చేస్తారు. ఆ లోపల బలిహరణం చేస్తారు. ఆ బలిహరణం బలికి అంటే జంతువులకి అంతా పెట్టిన తర్వాత సింబాలిక్ he is allowed to come and take food. That's exactly is being practiced these days. But though people are not explaining why that kind of balis are being kept, what you eat is food, aharam, bhojanam. And what the Pitru Devatas and Devatas eat is called Bali. So that's why it's a Baligum Haret. You should, when once you have got that such great gurus before you, in order to protect them long, you have to do this kind of homa and prarthana to Deva Devas, convenience, and see that you are all comfortable. Then we come to that Kamagnim Chinute Vaisvasujamagnim Chinvanaha Sariram Pratyakshena. So next question, next answer is because Agnilu enna unnayante, there are so many kinds of fires, you cannot say one fire and keep quiet. Therefore, here we have got another fire which is by name Vaisvasrujam Agniyam. So Vishwa Vaisruja means universal and worshipped by one and all in the entire universe is called Vaisrujam Agnim. There is no single authority for anything. Nobody can comment, but it is the philosophical exposition or point which we have got to think over and read it. If you can, you commit to memory. Otherwise, you can keep on reading it, looking at the book. So that Chali will begin, and it will be very nice to also to enjoy the nature's atmosphere and all that. Now, we have done that kind of Satriyamagni for Brahma. The next one is Vaisvasrujamagnim Chinvanaha. The other one is called Vaisvasruk or Visvasruk, or meaning that capacity to create all people in the world. And this I can do, that I cannot do, this kind of discrimination and ability, disability, capacity, non-capacity, all these things, no matter. When once you do this kind of Vaisvasujagni Aradhana, everything possible will become possible for you to construct or destruct. That's exactly repeat. Kamagnim chinute upanuvakyam. Chadavandi.
Kamagnim chinute.
Upanuvakyamasamagnim chinvanaha.
Upanuvakyam ashumagnim chinvanaha. Upanuvakyam ashumagnim chinvanaha. Iman lokan prachakshena kamagnim chinute. Imamaruna ketumagnim chinvana iti.
The evaso.
Ya evasau. Ya evasau.
Itascha mutascha.
Itascha mutascha. Itascha mutascha.
Amutascha vyatipati.
Vyatipati.
Tamiti.
Tamiti.
So we are being slowly introduced into the agriculture and Agnihotra, and as much as you think of the water and other ingredients for our lunch, similarly, you should also choose a good pure water. And the purity of water, you can get it when you are in the in that particular tapas state. So, Turikam Pratyakshena. So, Upanavakyam Karnas. So, like that, he goes on talking about the Agnis in the particular section. I think we can stop here. We'll continue next week because this morning I had a very class at 4 o'clock. India people I talked up on the Aruna, not Mahanyasam. So we stop here. Om Swasti.
Om Swasti. Om Sahana Vavatu. Sahano Bhunaktu. Saha Viryam Karavavahai. Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om. Sri Krishnarpanamastu. Sri Veda Purushasirvadostu. Om Tat Satu.